So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at ways of mixing paint correctly, using the brush correctly, and painting in an accurate and precise way. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to draw very simple shape, triangle shape, where the edges are about 4 centimeters. Work quite accurately and precisely. And we're going to paint this in one color. Second thing we are going to do, we're going to do a more irregular shape, a splodge type shape, which has got curved edges. Vary it, but don't make it too complicated. And then we're going to paint that in another color. We're going to paint one in ultramarine, which is a lighter blue, and we're going to paint one in red, which is lighter red. So when it comes to using brushes, you've got 2 brushes in your art pack. If you use a bigger brush, it holds more water and then it takes longer to mix the paint. And the smaller brush, obviously, less time to mix the paint, but gives you a bit of a finer line. We're going to use a smaller brush today. We're mixing the paint, dipping it in the water, trying to get enough paint mixed up in the palette, looking at it to think, is it too watery, is it too thick, and adjusting it. Test your paint on scrap paper. If it looks a little bit too watery, maybe you're going to mix the paint around a little bit more. Test your color again. And then start to paint. Now, when we start to paint, we try to work up to the line with the tip of the brush. Work very slowly, work very accurately. If your paint is a little bit too watery, you might need to mix it a bit more. You can see now, because I'm trying to work a little bit accurately, I'm holding the brush lower down. When it comes to painting the next section, you're going to need some more paint. So if you dip your brush completely in the water, you are going to need to mix it around maybe 10, maybe 20 times to get the right mixture of paint. Whereas if you dip your brush only a couple of millimeters in the water, you might only need to mix the paint round a few times. Again, test your color. Now, when it comes to painting the next line, the next section, a couple of ways to do it. If you twist your arm around, it's going to be more difficult. So twist the paper so again, you're painting with the tip of the brush up to the line. You can work more precise. Remember, if you're holding the metal part of the brush, you're holding it low down and you've got a little bit more control. And then we're starting to fill the triangle shape in. Again, mixing a little bit more paint when we need it. When it comes to painting, the next section, we've turned the page around again and we're painting again up to the line. And finally, when you are filling in the section, you are painting over the section you've already painted as well as the section which is yet to be painted. That allows the colors to blend into one another and you get much of a flat and you get a much flatter surface of paint, and that very bold flat blue we're trying to achieve with very little evidence of brush marks. Now, when it comes to painting the splodge, you're going to use the red, and obviously the techniques of painting are exactly the same, but you are trying to paint against the line with the tip of the brush, but with more curved lines. And that's the task for this first exercise.